No, you're not taking the car.
Stephen,
You're not taking the car.
Stephen,
You are not.
then I will ask them to pick me up. Would you like me to ask?
Oh, that's right.
It's not correct, Stephen.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Steven Crowder yet again. He is in big trouble over a video that he did about his own divorce. And when I first saw the video, I'm like, okay, I'm going to leave it alone. That's a private issue between himself and his wife and his twin boys. I'm going to stay out of it. However, he said so much in the interview, it's created a snowball of problems that have just rolled downhill, created an avalanche. He is now all over the place. New York Post picked it up. Every YouTuber, pundit, personality is talking about it. So I got to give my 2 cents. And I'm going to tie this into the videos I did about him earlier in the year as it relates to the issue between him and the Daily Wire. Remember that? He's saying, hey, you know, I'm on a crusade to fight against big tech, and Daily Wire's in bed with big tech. Remember that whole situation? And I was pointing out how this is disingenuous. He is a manipulator, a con artist, a liar. All of what I said about him earlier in the year is proven to be the same right now. And before I go any further, let's roll some clips. We're going to see clips that the wife's family released. We're going to see the initial divorce announcement. We're going to see quite a few clips here. Candace Owens got brought up in the situation. If you want to see anything that I'm playing right here in full without my commentary, links as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
I have been living with a proverbial boot on my neck for going on years now. Since 2021, I've been living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. Now, let me say on the outset, to be clear, there is no infidelity, any kind of physical abuse at all on either side. And no, this was not my choice. My then wife decided that she didn't want to be married anymore. And in the state of Texas, that is completely permitted.
Let's pause right here. So he's speaking about no-fault divorce. Now, he may want to make this be kind of a men's rights issue, but as you're going to see later, this is not a men's rights issue. Yes, there is an issue with divorce, wrecking men, and sometimes it's not their fault. That is an issue. But I don't think that's the case right here, okay? Furthermore, we're going to read documents and whatnot, and I'll link those in the box. He hired a divorce attorney before she filed, okay? So keep that in mind.
It's been the most heartbreaking experience of my life, what I consider to be my deepest personal failure. And just so you know, my opinions on parenting and families have not changed. I've always believed that children need a mom and a dad, that divorce is horrible. And I still believe that children need a mom and a dad and that divorce is horrible. But in today's legal system, my beliefs don't matter.
So basically, he's the victim. He didn't want it. He didn't do it. You know, he wants 2 family households, but hey, it's not my fault. I didn't do it. So he's trying to maintain the whole TradCon image while at the same time trashing his wife. That's what's happening. You're going to see more of that.
In Texas, divorce is permitted when one party wants it, period. So for well over a year, in the best interest as well as physical safety of my children, we've decided to keep this issue private and to resolve it privately with the appropriate attorneys, what have you, legal jargon. And all this, one thing I want to be really clear about is certain. True north here is that my children are blameless, completely without fault. And
I mean, it's kind of word salad right now. Why would the kids be to blame? They're kids. You know, why would at the end of the day, you're talking about babies. You got 2 adults in the room that are in a relationship. Whatever goes on is between you two. You can't blame anybody else. It's between you two. So either you're both at fault or one's at fault. Somebody did something or somebody just wanted to go. At the end of the day, somebody's at fault.
And so we decided to resolve these issues privately, as it's in their best interests, both emotionally and physically, to do so. Now, the other issue is, and this is something that I've kept private for likely far too long, many other people knew about this behind the scenes. Some, not all, but some of them in positions of power, influence, leverage, knew of this.
Here we go. Now he's going into the Candace Owens route. And I'm going to explain, after he says it, I'm going to explain why it's BS.
They also knew that the safety of my children included keeping it private. So if you're familiar with the idea of extortion, then you know the feeling well. Now, some of these threats were so thinly veiled that I'm frankly surprised you didn't all guess immediately.
Stephen has a lot going on, I guess is the best way to say it. He has a lot going on, and that should be clear because people don't do stuff like this if there's not a lot going on in their lives. I would like to implore my audience and everybody that isn't paying attention to this situation not to condemn him, but to pray for him. Sometimes people need a prayer. Sometimes people need a scripture. You know, Stephen purports to be a Christian. I am unsure at this moment if it is my place to say more than that. You know, maybe if I feel in further defense, some things should be said, or maybe if I feel that the public has a right to understand certain circumstances.
Oh, my children have a right to privacy.
So he's accusing Candace of trying to extort him or blackmail him with the divorce knowledge. He's trying to say that she knew and she was trying to expose him. But here's the problem with that. Divorce is public record. It's public record. Anybody could have found that out. And she spoke about that actually in another video I have here. I'll link to this in the box. You can see it's pretty long. It's like 16 minutes. But she said all she did was just go to his Instagram page and to his wife's Instagram page, and she saw that they weren't following each other. So obviously there was a problem. Like, she realized that something was wrong with the guy. Obviously he's going through some issues. He has some issues going on. Her request of prayer was really appropriate because he needs it. Obviously he's going through some things. But all she did was just put two and two together, as women do. That's just what they do. But if she really wanted to go there, she could just search publicly and pull the records up. When you file, that's going to be on public record. Fresh and Fit pulled his divorce proceedings up on live stream the other day. Might have been last night, night before that. They pulled it up on live stream. It's public record. So you can't try to say that she's trying to hold it over your head. Come on. And see, that was a mistake right there, bringing her name up. That was a mistake, bringing her name up. And also trashing his wife was a mistake too. But you're going to see more of that in a minute.
Now, some other issues have been, or I should say, inferences have been more pernicious behind the scenes with demands and threats to use this information that they believe would be so publicly embarrassing to me and my wife at a difficult time that it could be used, knowingly putting my children in harm's way. So
let's pause right here. Now, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but I'm not really. I'm giving you proper context. Before he did this video right here, he contacted his wife's family. They told him don't do the video. The wife's lawyers said don't do the video, but he did it anyway. So I don't understand why he would contact them and then still do the video. It's like, just go ahead and do it. What's the point in contacting them? If you're going to do the video anyway, why contact the family of your wife?
So to those self-styled Christians, conservatives, and allies, well, not in my book. Now, if you find yourself, I don't want to get into details, so this is going to likely be the only time I have to address this or want to address this. If you're asking yourself, hey, did X person or did Y person know? The answer is likely yes, which will be made alarmingly clear as this process of discovery continues. And it also, by the way, makes me that much more appreciative of those who did know about this and in understanding the best interests of my family, my children, kept their word and used discretion. I can't thank you enough. Sincerely, I appreciate it. Won't forget it. It's pretty simple. I loved a woman so much that I married her. A woman who, despite all of this, I still love as the mother of my children. And she wanted something else for her life. That's not my choice. She simply wanted out, and the law says that that's how it works. Now, of course, look, I get it. There are multiple sides to every story.
Yep.
But one thing that is undeniable in this case is that it's no one's fault but my own, in that I picked wrong. And that's certainly not the fault of my children.
See that right there, that comment right there, that sealed the fate. That sealed his fate. Look, I don't care what you got going on with your wife. I don't care. You could be married to Lorena Bobbitt. I don't care who you married to. You don't say that, what he just said on air. I picked wrong. You're trashing your wife. You're talking about, well, it's not my fault. Blame her. She the one that wanted it. I didn't do nothing. She did it. I'm blameless. I'm perfect. She's the one that wanted it out. I didn't do anything. I picked wrong. She's the reason why. Yo, like, weren't they like high school sweethearts or something? They got married in 2012 and they were both virgins when they got married. Why would you say that about your wife, your current wife? Y'all got twin boys. What are you thinking about? See, that right there is what sealed the fate, because now the wife's family then put out some video, all right? Because they want to defend their person. Like, look, regardless of what, hold on.
Because I drew a boundary.
Regardless of what's going on, the family of a person will defend them usually. Unless it's something obvious like, okay, y'all, she in the backyard killing puppies or something like that, the family would come to their loved one's defense all the time. And now we have video from a Ring camera in their backyard from 2021 when she was 8 months pregnant with the twin boys. Check it out.
I drew a boundary. No, you just did it. I drew a boundary of abusive and cruel. You were not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries.
There is no groceries. I do have to.
Steaks, wood pellets, my grill. I know it's an unreasonable request, but I'll go do it. How about you first? Hillary, how do you respect the man? Yes. How do you man? How do you man receive love and respect? No. How do you man respect? No, you're not taking the car.
Stephen,
You're not taking the car.
Stephen,
You are not.
then I
taking
will ask someone to pick me up. Would you like me to ask?
Oh, that's right.
It's not fair.
So look, okay, they have one car and she's trying to go run an errand and he's like, hey, you can't have the car. This is a control mechanism. You see their house. It's not a bad looking house. They live in a nice big house. He has enough money to buy her another car. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I got 2 cars and I live by myself. So why can't he have another car for her? It's a control mechanism. And you know the reason why I know he can afford it? First of all, we know Crowder is a big YouTuber, has a lot of money. And you see his nice big house right here. But right around this same time when this video was recorded, when she was pregnant, he had left her. He left her and she had the twins by herself. He was not there with the wife during the birth, okay? He left her and bought a townhouse for himself. He didn't just rent an apartment. He didn't move in with his dad or somebody. He bought another house for himself and left her at that house by herself. You see what I'm saying? So if you could buy another house, you can buy another car. He didn't because he wanted to use that as a control mechanism. This is the same thing that he does with other people. I'm going to come right back to this. Here is a former Landau Crowder, I guess you would say contributor, employee, or whatever, Dave Landau. Like, a lot of you guys have watched Landau Crowder. People say they love Dave. He's hilarious. He's very funny. He did a very long interview podcast with Michael Malice, and I'll link to that in the description. But here's a piece of it. Shout out to Lauren Chin for posting this piece of it right here.
So I just text Steven and said, hey, I just talked to the showrunner. I just want to make sure it's still cool that Matt comes in. And he texted me something back along the lines of, what's done is done. I said, what does that mean? It's your show, which is ironic. That's what he said. And my phone rings. And, you know, I don't want to go greatly into the conversation between us, but it was, he's like, do you still want to be on Louder with Crowder? And I said, not at the moment. And he starts going off on me, and now there's a ton of people in my apartment who can hear it.
Wait, he's literally raising his voice?
He's screaming at me.
Okay, so literally raising his voice, not just being stern, like to the point where it's audible.
It's Audible, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's started stern, but then it got into telling me that he owns me, and
In those words?
Yes.
From where I'm standing, even if only a fraction of the things Dave says about Steven are true, it still paints him as someone who is very hard to work with, very controlling, and someone who, yeah, the rumors about are true because Steven, I've mentioned this in the stream, he does have a reputation in this industry as being difficult to work with and kind of a diva. And I would say that the fact that Steven has such high turnover for his show, for co-hosts and things like that,
Sin Computer, Dave Landau, Nat Gay Jarrett, the list goes on.
it kind of does, in a way, lend credence to the idea that perhaps this man is not the best to work with. You know what? Obviously, as someone who's had my own interactions with Steven that didn't end that great, if you guys, again, have seen the stream, you'll know what I'm talking about.
So, and then there was one more thing from Dave Landau. Dave Landau also said that Steven had a button under his desk or something right by his desk that when he pushed it, lights would light up, like yellow lights. Dave could see it, and when he would see the lights, that meant for Dave to shut up because Steven wanted to talk or make a good point or whatever. Dave was outshining Steven, and Steven wanted to control him that way. So you see the controlling type behavior, controlling, manipulative, all this and that. He's trying to control his wife. He's trying to control his employees and trying to control you guys out there by manipulating you emotionally with the whole thing about I'm fighting against big tech and all this and that and the third, when really it's not even like that. It's a lot more simple than that. Let's go back to the Ring camera video.
Steven.
Get an Uber.
Okay, Steven, I can't.
Feeling some constraints?
Steven.
Like, I can't
Steven.
go. Listen to me. You want to walk out right now? Listen to me. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to my parents. I can't call my friends. I can't be home. You're gonna take the car and leave me here.
See what I'm saying? He could easily have another car. It doesn't cost that much. I don't make anywhere near the money that Steven Crowder makes. He is in a whole different stratosphere than me. I'm a small YouTuber compared to him, but I'm able to have 2 cars. Why can't you? He doesn't have more than 1 car because he wants to control her.
Hillary, just think of how boxed in you've made me.
What do you need me to pick up? I'll get it. I'll be back when I'm back.
No, that doesn't work either. You'll be back when you're back. That doesn't work either. Do you understand the difference between my life being set to the second and you going, I'll be back when I'm back?
Steven.
You're making it work. Can you do that? The only way out of this is discipline and respect. It's the only way out of it, or we're at an impasse.
We are at an impasse.
And let's not forget she's 8 months pregnant. So when a woman is pregnant, 8 months with twins, she's going through a lot. Okay, she's carrying around these 2 twin boys in there, wrestling, doing all type of WWF moves, kicking and carrying on. And then, you know, you got sickness and you hungry and you got cravings and your hormones are going wild and you got nerves happening. You're worried about delivering the baby safely. It's a lot happening. So you got to be extra careful to care for her feelings during this time. And he's just smoking a cigar, not really caring. He's doing this whole change my mind debate type stuff with his wife. And it's just coming off really bad.
Good. Because you can't have any discipline or respect.
Yeah.
There you go. You throw your hand, you give up so easily.
I don't give up, Steven.
Hillary,
Steven?
you give up so easily. I just said the only way out of this is discipline and respect. You said, then we're at an impasse.
Steven, no, we are at an impasse, okay? I love you, but Steven, your abuse is sick. Your abuse
Watch it.
is sick.
Watch it. Watch it.
I'm gonna let go. I'll get what you need me to get. And I need some space. We need to just stop engaging for a little bit, okay? I love you. I love you very much.
I don't love you. That's the big problem. I've never received love from you. And the fact is, when I go, look, I need you to do A, B, C, and D, you just be disciplined about it. You go, no. But I love you more than life itself. Okay. Put on some gloves. No. But I love you more than life itself. That's not fair. That's not fair, and it's disingenuous. Hillary, you're right. We're at an impasse. Become someone, listen to me, day in and day out, worthy of a wife. No, not as a wife. I didn't say as a wife. Hillary, come on now.
I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage anymore. I'm gonna go. I'll text me what you need. I'll get you what you need. I love you. I'm committed to you.
I front and gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm not gonna.
Are you committed enough to do those things? You're not committed to anything. You're not committed to anything. You just said I love you. I'm committed to it. Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves.
I need to.
Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things?
I,
Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm gonna just.
Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to get the medication the dogs take? No, you take.
So the whole glove thing was about the dogs needed certain kind of medication, and she was concerned about handling it because she was pregnant, because she thought it might be toxic for her and the twin boys. Now, here's the end of it. She says, as the Crowders head inside, Stephen gets angrier and angrier, and by his own admission, because there was some audio that the reporter who released it, Shashar Ali, put out, there was some audio that he reviewed where he admitted to saying, "I will F you up," at his pregnant wife, Hillary, who then flees their home. So that's that. That's Steven Crowder. I mean, it's rough, you know. This could have been totally avoided if he didn't do that video, because that right there, I mean, you're trashing your wife, bringing people into it that have nothing to do with it, accusing them of extortion. I don't know what's going on with the guy. I think he has mental problems, paranoia. I don't know what's going on with him. But Candace Owens said earlier in the year during the whole Daily Wire scandal about praying for him is right, because clearly there's some issues going on. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what's going on here? Is it a private matter? It shouldn't be in the public. Did he make it public? And now it's public consumption. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This kind of proves what I was saying earlier in the year about him. It just really proves it. It just confirms what I've been saying throughout the whole time. And people are going to defend him, of course, say, hey, man, this is an argument everybody has. Okay. But how many more people got to come forward? How many more ex-employees, the ex-wife's family, and all this? How many more people and incidents and things have to happen before we realize who this guy is? Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.